I just want you to prove to yourself that you can do anything, literally. Like, you can overcome any challenge, you can overcome anything as long as you want to, with whatever resources you have. I'm not one of the most confident people out there, and I'm genuinely not the person who has all the wisdom out there. But I think if you're somebody like me who is afraid to be judged or who is afraid of what people would say about you if you do this and that, but does it really matter though? While I'm journaling what I feel right now, I really sometimes have to remind myself how far I've come. And I have a list of things that I've learned over the time as I've overcome stuff that I thought I would never overcome. I'm not somebody who's loud, I'm not somebody who's super extroverted. I love to socialize with people, but I would rather spend my time alone and recharge. I've seen people start somewhere and give up halfway because of what people are commenting on whatever they're doing, may it be online or may it be in your family. But do you want to look back from now to like 5 years later and come back to this moment and think, I wish I could have, like, I wish I would have never listened to them. I wish I would have just stopped those thoughts right there and then and just continued to go on about my life. And as I start this video, I also came to realize that does it even matter though? I want to do things that make me happy. I want to do things that make me feel connected to myself. I want to stop cribbing about not doing anything. I want to stop cribbing about I'm not doing enough to please myself. I'm not going out enough. I'm not meeting my friends enough. And I'm just not doing enough. Challenge myself, and all in all, this is the first step to my challenge. My first step to the challenge is to be honest and open about what I really want to do and who I want to be in like the next 5 years or by the time this year ends, because it is not that long till this year ends, right? It is 5 of August. When we are talking about surviving, I don't want you to look at survival as I should be perfect about this, I can't afford to lose this or that. But to be very honest, there is nothing to lose. Money comes and money goes, it is fine. But time is not something that you can buy again and again and again. Why would you spend another day in your life and do nothing? Now, I'm not a very philosophical person, but whenever I think about survival, I never think about perfection. I think about doing everything in my power to achieve what I want to achieve. There are so many things I wish I could do. There are so many things I wish I could have started earlier. I wish there were people around me who would support me. I wish there were people around me back when I was depressed to be there for me. But it never plays out your way, so why would you want to be stuck in that zone forever and not show up for yourself? When you start showing up for yourself, you forget who's not. And I know it is like a super cliche thing to say, but it is the truth. When you start showing up for yourself, you forget about the people who don't, and you appreciate the people who do. And this is coming from a personal experience. When I've talked about something that I wanted to do to the right people, they have been like, go for it, like, you would always have my back, and this and that. And even if it is not the most trending thing, or even if it is something that they have no knowledge about, they would support me end to end. But there have also been days when I haven't had anyone like that, who would support me and win when I was in like depression when I was 17. There was nobody in my life who could like support me through and through. And so I just showed up for myself even if I was crying late at night every single fucking day. I still showed up for myself, and the more I showed up for myself, the more I became willing to accept the people who don't and do. I became willing to open up about myself to the people who would actually do anything for me. So, a few months ago, I moved here in Thailand where I don't know the language, and I certainly do not know how people just work as a society in Thailand. And it has been difficult to connect with people, but one thing I always reminded myself that it is nice to come back home to myself. And it is just nice to know that at the end of the day, whoever is going to be there for me, it's going to be me. I've also seen people in real time, somebody who's like super close to me, be like, I don't really like how I started doing this new thing, and somebody that I thought would be there for me did not even cheer me once, or did not even congratulate me once. And my only advice to that was like, of course, it's a shame to find out that somebody you thought was going to be there for you is not. And the only thing that I could come up with in that moment to like help her out through that feeling of being almost shamed by the one who she could trust, that you should never stop. If anything, I think that it is a huge, prideful thing to start from scrapes and scratches instead of just going on and something that you don't even like. She started something that she likes. She started doing something back again she wanted to get into, and honestly, that is so powerful to do something when people told you you couldn't, to do something and show up for yourself when people around you told you to stop and to just go back home and relax. Another thing that stuck with me the most was that the way people treat you has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with them. Now, in relationships, I've seen many people stay together even when their partner have been shit to them. Why aren't they a shit person to you? I'm telling you, the way people treat you, it has nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with them. Somebody who stuck with you when you were the worst to them or you were just not a great person is because they wanted to. Somebody who did not stick to you when you were like the best ever person to them, even if you were showing up for them constantly, it had nothing to do with you. It was up to them to leave you. That is also one of the biggest reasons why I wouldn't say detached, but I'm so securely attached with the people that I have in my life right now, and why I also started doing this, because I think I've lost all capability to take any judgment to my heart. Sometimes judgment can make you or break you. Sometimes people who genuinely want you to do better, they would judge you, but they wouldn't make you feel so shallow. And sometimes people who judge you would just want to drag you down. It is really up to you to figure out who those sort of people are, but the path to get there. So the path to get there is to keep on going, in my opinion. Never stop believing in yourself, never stop believing in your morals. It could change any moment, but don't abandon your morals because somebody told you it's not the right thing to do. That does not mean that you would self sabotage yourself, though. Don't crib about things if you feel like you should crib about them. Give yourself a timer to crib about them, but then go look at yourself in the mirror for like a good few minutes. My point remains, when somebody is trying to decide a certain path for you, don't let them decide that certain path for you, because they may have lived their life out in certain ways, but that life may not align with you at all. But if you're depressed, I want you to start talking to yourself. Now, I don't mean that in a schizophrenic way, no, none of that, but I want you to take a good look at the past few years or months or days, weeks of your life, and really look at it and ask yourself this one question: is it worth it? Is it worth to shed another tear? Is it worth to stress about it anymore? You can't change your past, you can't get closure out of it. The only closure you can get is when you are actually doing something for yourself. The only closure you can get is that this has already happened, and it is possible that you might find an answer someday, but for the days you are not able to find those answers, I just want you to start analyzing your pattern and break it every single day. Challenge yourself. Challenging yourself is like, again, really huge, but get up, take a shower, maybe brush your teeth, whatever feels like you, but do it. And the purpose is to not be hygienic or whatever, even though it's a good thing, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to prove to yourself that you can do it and you can actually go show up for yourself. The purpose is to tell your brain that you can do it even when you think you can't. That's it for today. That's the first journal that I want to put out there on the internet, and I hope I don't give up on this thing. I really do hope that whoever who's out there watching this finds it helpful, even in little ways.